Hey folks, Dave, the not so evil Viking 13 here, back with General Dave in Fallout 4, and we're back to work on my Minutemen dockyard, or port, at the Kingsport Lighthouse, appropriately. Specifically, today, we're going to go back to work on my Minutemen gunboat that's going to be docked here in the port. And I have been doing a good bit of work since last time, because I asked for feedback from you guys. And boy did you give it. Lots of awesome feedback, from name suggestions to design suggestions from you guys. This build is going to be a lot of fun, and it's definitely fun to have some input along the way. So right off the bat, you can tell I've changed quite a few things with the structure of our apocalyptic ragtag gunboat here. First of all, I went through and switched out a lot of the squared off metal pieces for the aircraft pieces to just give the boat a more rounded, not boxy look, because it is based off of the barge bottom, and that's already boxy enough. Additionally, while I knew that I wanted to have some armor on it, I really liked the suggestions to make it like the Confederate and Union ironclad gunboats of the American Civil War. So I've taken a kind of apocalyptic inspiration from those gunboats, and as you can see, I've added some rounded off metal works and armor plating to all sides of our gunboat here. As I walk around, you're going to notice that there's a few things floating like a turret here and there. I'm beginning to lay out the foundations of how I want the protective walls to be for the port and stuff like that. But again, today we're going to focus mainly on the gunboat. Although I did lay out some concrete for our refueling station here. I just wanted to figure out, before I had too many things that were overhanging this part of the docks, how much room I actually had to work with. And the answer was not much, but I'm going to build some additional fences and barbed wire down through here. And probably put some kind of rooftop over this guard tower, but there won't be much down here. Because after all, if the gunboat's here, it can defend this side. If it's not here, we're going to have plenty of turrets and all. Anyway, enough about the entrance. Let's check out what I've added to the boat since last time. I've shifted the engine slightly, but for now at least, I am going to keep those top turbines because I love the junky hovercraft look we have going on. I think it fits really well. It looks unstable, but I like that. I did add a third prop underwater just to help with propulsion. I mean, I don't think that would work super well, but it looks cool, and we're kind of, fudging it just a bit. We're working with what we have. I've also gone through and added a bunch of pipe detailing and like vents and all kinds of little bits of scrappy detailing stuff from that decorations / Greebles menu, just to break up the silhouette more and make it look even less boxy. Got like a drain or vent right there, all kinds of piping, an announcement or foghorn right there, and some pipes and stuff along the turbines. As we go along the front here, you guys can see that the rounded off shapes are really helping with the profile of the overall boat. And I've also lowered that cabin 1/2 staircase in height so that it's not quite so high up. I also loved the suggestions of the extra sandbags. I was planning on doing a few like this from the beginning, but after a couple of you guys suggested adding a lot of sandbags and looking at how they look here, I think I am going to just add a ton of sandbags as like a rough bullet absorption technique all over the boat. That'll have to come later though. Also, this time of day is awesome. Check out the shadows being cast onto the boat from the railing. I don't know, that's just a really cool looking detail. Highlights it nicely. I've also added the gangplank with some railings kind of tucked into the side of our rounded armor plating here. I'm going to actually go into free cam briefly so you guys can see what the front looks like. The prow of our Minutemen gunboat looks very, very different. In my opinion, it looks much, much better. I was trying to figure out how to add some kind of point or slant to the front of the prow. because there weren't many pieces that I thought would work well, but after doing some digging, I think I found a couple that would work. And this is the kind of thing that I really couldn't do while recording the last episode, because I already spent so much time kind of, you know, lost digging through menus. I try to edit that stuff down and not take up too much time, but I had to take some time on my own and dig through and just basically play with some different pieces that I can build in the workshop to see what I could use. And what I ended up with was actually, I don't know if you can tell, those are diner rooftops rotated, which took forever to get the rotation right. Diner rooftops rotated in a line together to create the point, with some concrete category flooring pieces on top of that, and some metal rooftops to create the slope shape. And then behind that, some of those rounded off metal pieces. It's like 5 different layers, but together it still looks super heavy, but it actually looks like a ship now. And I think it looks really scrappy and junky, but still looks like a ship. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. So what we're going to work on today is just a couple of more kind of structure pieces. Again, I don't want to detail the entire thing with you guys because I want there to be some surprises once I do the final tour video, once the entire settlement is complete. But yeah, today we're going to add some of the machine gun nests, some turret platforms, work on some of the interior sections. I've added just a few of the doors already. We're going to work on some more of those. Get some, I don't know, some kind of machine gun emplacements up front, I think. I'm also toying with the idea of having this life raft here, but I don't know if it works. I've got these kind of arch things holding it in place. Might be too much. I don't know. You guys tell me if that rowboat, like emergency life raft, is, I don't know, too much. I am sticking with the mortar on the center of the ship though. I've got it positioned a bit more carefully. I might cover up that concrete with some metal pieces, but I really love the idea of this gunboat being like a siege mortar ship that can just slowly pull up offshore, probably very slowly, and then rain fire down with that massive mortar. I just really like that concept for it, so I think I'm going to stick with it. I just want it to look as, you know, plausible as possible. Whew, tight fit for those doors. Here's what the inside looks like right now. I am getting a few of these armor plating pieces clipping through. I have to go through and fix some of that. I know that a few of you guys did not like how this spiral staircase was clipping, but it's actually grown on me quite a bit. I've put a few metal pieces where it looks like we actually built the staircase into the engine compartment, where it's not quite so much clipping as we just had to build in a very compact area. And also, now that I've lowered this cabin down a bit, I've lowered the netting some as well. Move our lantern over here. And I've added some kind of aluminum and glass walls just for this lookout tower, just for some minor protection, with some sandbags to help catch bullets. And then yes, these windows looking out from the machine gun nest back here are quite close to those props, which is why I have the wire mesh over the windows. I feel like that's a decent safety measure. I also redid the covering for the propane / fuel tank, however this thing might be fueled, and it's also now using that rounded off shape. I might put a half door there or something, or I might leave it open, seeing it's facing the front. That's what our fuel tank's looking like. Again, it's just really helping to break up that boxy silhouette that we had before. We go into workshop mode here, and let's go ahead and fix this piece that was clipping through pretty badly. Okay. I'll be able to cover up some of that inside with some furniture, but for now, yeah, that's a bit better. I can put some beds on top of that. So our machinery still right there. Another great suggestion from you guys was the boxcar door over the engine compartment. Let me actually leave the workshop mode. How cool is that? I love that. Fantastic idea. I had not even thought of that, but it is perfect. I could do that all day. Okay. Oh, and the last thing. I still have not decided on a final name for our gunboat yet, but I'm leaning in a certain direction. You guys might have already noticed. Let me go up top in free cam again. I've got the Swan up here because I'm really leaning towards calling this thing the Ugly Duckling. I think the Swan on top just sells it. I have this crazy Art Deco style statue out front as our figurehead, but yeah, the Swan up top for the Ugly Duckling story, I think that just works really well. So let me know what you guys think of that. There were a lot of great name suggestions, so I don't want to call it just yet, but I am leaning towards the Ugly Duckling. This is probably going to be bare bones in here. I don't imagine we're going to need a lot of equipment in the cabin. I might put like a stool and a small computer, perhaps. A single one. Let's look at our decorations real quick while I'm in here. Decorations. Miscellaneous. HM Electronics. There we go. Yeah, I'll just put a single console tower just for detail. Gotta watch my supply of fiber optics. And let's do a chair. Probably a stool of some kind. Yeah, I'll just do a simple metal stool. For the captain. Speaking of which, the captain's cabin is going to be down here. Gonna wall that off and put a door in. This is going to be ammo and food storage for the artillery piece and for the galley. And it's still not too bad to run through the artillery piece here. I think that's very doable for working with the limited space that we have. So let's look at our armament for up front. I want to see what we have for defenses under G2M. Got sandbags, we got these, we got the towers. Okay. Now how about thematic and practical? Raider decorations, tires. Oh yeah, some tires might make a good defensive barrier or two on the side. Trying to decide what kind of guard post I want up front. Might hide these railings in the corner here and do some kind of barrier, but this one will actually work better because it has that giant log at the bottom where I can clip it through where it doesn't quite fit, kind of like that. And like that. And I could put the one small one up front. Let's see. Is that anywhere close to centered? Let's look. That's not bad. I mean, the ship isn't perfectly centered anyway. Getting those diner rooftop pieces lined up was an absolute nightmare. But it's good enough. Something else I was thinking is I want a missile launcher, a classic one, missile turret up front. Which means it's also time to talk about our actual power source for this build. Let me see what I have for reactors. Compact backup generator does 20 power. Get those batteries. Get our fusion reactor, which would do 100, but yeah, it won't fit anywhere. Got our windmill that produces only 3 power. It's terrible. I do have solar panels. That kind of makes sense. That would help because I don't think we're going to fit a full fusion reactor in here. Would the Swan still fit? Let me go into float mode here for a minute. Man, that's gonna really take away from our Swan options here. Now I'm conflicted. How are we gonna power this monstrosity? Oh no, I'm out of makeshift batteries too. Oh, well. Those could have given us 4 power. Here we go, we could possibly fit it back here. A little bit rough, but we sink it down just a bit like it's mounted there. Yeah, guys, that could work. And when we add our, this is from my mod, compact backup generator. I don't remember if I actually have this. I do have this, I think, in my Minutemen morale mod. I'm pretty sure I do. Need to check that, or otherwise when I distribute this settlement, you guys won't be able to use it. And it still has an awkward collision box, like as you can see right there, I kind of get stuck on the box, which is larger than the actual visible object. Gotta fix that at some point. For now though, I will clip around it, and let's get some power going. I kind of want there to be a lot of really crappy looking wires and stuff on this ship slash boat. I think it'll add to the effect, so I'm just gonna have stuff kind of just hanging out in the open. A little bit dangerous perhaps, but I think it'll look cool. That way I can do some spotlights along this too, but this will get our rocket launcher going if nothing else. There we are. I'll just clip that like that for now. I said connect. I'm gonna put that right there. There we have our rocket launcher up front. We have some power going now too. Let me connect that solar panel to the network. I'll probably do a simple power pole of some kind. Where's a good place for it? Yeah, that's not gonna connect well. I'll just float it for a second and then I'll put it back. I think it was back here. There we go. Yeah, I just like the power lines kind of hanging across the ship, although hopefully that mortar is just going to fire off the left side of the boat. I think I'll have the power come down like this. Then I'll just have some, let's go ahead and make a save. Just in case, let's go ahead and have some wall ports that just carry it right inside of the reactor. That should link up our power system. I'll just use place everywhere to clip that right through and then connect it to the network. So now we've got the extra 6 power plus the 20. That should be plenty to work with. I was thinking, do I want any kind of armor plating over these gun ports? Let me see what I have under metal prefabs that would fit. Yeah, like something like this maybe. Turn snapping off for a minute. How does that look? And how much wood did that just cost me? 4. Alright. Could have been worse. Nah. I like the gun ports up front kind of just being their own deal. No covers over those. Although, you know what I will do though, guys, is I'm going to use Raider tarps for the front. I think that will look really, really good. That is huge. Alright, I'm gonna have to shrink these down just a bit. But I can also place some of these spikes here for ramming or preventing borders. Yeah, where else could I put some of these massive spikes? The back, maybe? That's a bit too close to the docks, but let's get these tarps going. One, two, size shrinks. I want to see how it looks. Where's that front pole gonna hit? Let me out of the water. Alright. Use this construction boat here. Surface snap is off. It's gonna have to come down a little bit more. It's now 70% size. And I'm gonna rotate that down like that. It's gonna be tricky to position these, but worth it, I think. Let's look at the free cam real quick. Let's actually shrink that down again, so 60%. Move it up some. That way it looks like it's part of the ship and not just awkwardly sticking off the side. Now we're talking. Let's do the same on the other side now. We can get around our gigantic spikes here. Use the free cam for the initial placement. Go. That's actually no collision, not free cam. Make it 60% size. Can't do it with collision turned off because you can only interact with it once. There we are. Put our axis on. That wasn't Z at all. That. Let's lean it over. How does that look? Needs to come down some more. That's looking quite aggressive. Now guys, that looks like some kind of post-apocalyptic battleship. This is exactly what I had in mind. I'm really happy with this. This is probably too big for up front. So the last thing that I want is to block the view from upstairs. I could lean it back though. Make it a little bit smaller. That is something else. Right. I think a few more turrets and the front of this is going to be just about complete. Question is, where do I want those turrets? Do another save here. I think perhaps a turret platform on each side of the bridge. There we go. I'm trying to think if I want some way of closing this up as well, but these doors close, so now I'm gonna leave this walkway open. I do want turrets down the sides for protection. Oh yeah, this side is actually gonna need extra turrets because this boat's gonna block line of sight if I keep it. Yeah, let me know guys, should I keep that boat? The lifeboat? Just can't decide, it's kind of in the way. I'll build around it for now. Here under concrete walls, in Homemaker of all things, we're going to find at the very end, not quite the very end, a turret platform. Actually, a turret could go there. I think I had the same thing on this side. I could use a platform. I'll build one on this side. That's out of the build area. So I can place it, I just can't, or I can move it, I just can't place it out of bounds. Turret platform there. In this case, we're going to want turret platform guarding this side. Because again, that lifeboat is right in the way. This side we have the gangplank. So we're going to want some turrets right there, I guess. Platform there. Platform. There. Where else should I put one? Probably here. I'm gonna float it back there, so I have to move it out of bounds. Don't know if you guys saw it earlier, but I have a bubble turret right there below the gun platform as well. Should do the trick. One there. One there. One here to cover that walkway, gangplank. Do this in the ocean. This is going to be difficult. Toggle that collision again. Okay. Now comes the fun part. We get to decide what kind of turrets are we going to mount on this monstrosity. Also, do those platforms clear the propellers? Whew. I'll move them down. I was at 3 units just to make sure. Okay. Let's see, defenses. For the back, I'm going to use some of these modded ones that are cheap to build, mainly because they don't require extra power. You can just pretend, for immersion's sake, that there's internal wiring, because there would be. Do advanced laser turret. Move that speaker over here too. There we go. Advanced laser turret. I think I'm gonna do advanced laser turrets for these two up front. But then the rest I'm imagining as miniguns all over the rest of our turret platforms. Is that one floating? No, we're okay. And these aren't very well balanced, these modded ones, but they do come in handy for saving a bit of wiring back and forth. keep getting stuck on that one pole. There we go. Just scooted that one unit. Speaking of scooting, that flag is floating, I think. Yeah, it's like 6 inches off the flagpole. What other ones do we have? Oh yeah, this one. Again, gotta place it inside and then move it outside with place everywhere. Look at our build meter, guys. We're gonna have to unlock the build limit soon. This is getting crazy. Got the 2 Gatling guns. It's 2 side platforms and the one watching the gangplank. Place that there. Not free camp. Lock the collision. Put you out there. And then one here. And that is going to be our armament for the gunboat. Turn off my UI and go to free cam so we can get a good look at what we have here. That thing is bristling with turrets. I do like that one power line, giving it almost like a sailing ship look. Bit of barbed wire and skulls. Yeah, the spikes and the all of the canopies give it a really amazing apocalyptic look. Well, I think that Minutemen flag needs to be bigger to make up for all of our weird looking, almost Raider style stuff that's going on. Go to the workshop here. Push that back just a bit. Rotate it. Rotate it. And we'll increase the scale. Each time we scale it, it looks like we've got to turn the collision off and on again. This is sad, guys, but I actually can't remember if I placed the waving version of the Come and Take It flag in my mod pack, my Minutemen Morale mod. Let's check that out, because if I have the waving Come and Take It flag, that would be perfect for this mortar gunboat. Decorations, wall decorations, flags. Reminder that the Minutemen... No. Thought the General and the Minutemen. All is lost. Let's go ahead and put you up in here. Put these small reminders. These aren't in my mod. These are modded textures from, I think, one of my other sign mods, but I'm going to use them here. Having a hard time finding those doors in the collision. The General is restoring hope. Reminder for you all. Okay, anyway. We have that waving come and take it flag. Possibly not. We do! Waving come and take it flag. Well, you know that's gonna go there too. Okay, I'll put it just like that. How does that look? Beautiful. I'm thinking we need a couple of American flags and some bunting to finish off our design here. Why am I in rags? Maybe an American flag. Let me go up my spiral staircase here. Perhaps off the corners. I got the boat on that side again. It's kind of in the way. I'll scoot it forward a bit. Let's see how the flags look from above. Oh yeah, now we're talking. That is an imposing sight if that thing was coming after you. Wow. Can you guys tell that I'm enjoying this just a bit? Oop, that was wrong command. So that leaves bunting. We're going to work on the rooms just a bit before we call it quits for this episode. Now I try to remember which bunting is from my mod. I have like 3 that add it, make it buildable. Actually, we've got so many curved surfaces now. Will it work anywhere? Possibly not. I can fit one there. Not quite that far back though. Undecided on the bunting. Actually, I don't like those turrets sticking out of the side, guys. I think instead we're going to put a nice big piece of bunting there. Very hard to do from inside the water. We just like General Dave's Minutemen to decorate this thing gaudily. So we head out to save the Commonwealth one mortar shell at a time. That's got multiple undo histories in place everywhere. That is impressive. Okay. How does the bunting look? Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Wish there was some way I could get it up front, but already got so much going on up front. I think I'll let that go. So let's talk about making our galley, our crew quarters, and our captain's quarters. Let's open up all of our doors here and figure out which way they swing for reference. That swings that way. That swings in. Good, good, good. Got that awkward collision from this generator in here. Yeah, before I worry about detailing a lot of the stuff like the artillery shells, let's get some lights and some walls going in here. I'm going to use a lot of standard light bulbs, just the hanging ones. I mean, these turret sounds are getting ridiculous. Oh, those spikes are going right into the captain's quarters. We can work around that, I think. Let's make sure that I didn't throw things off balance. Okay, no, it's fine. If anything, I could actually rotate that like that a little bit to get the pole out of the middle of the room. Yeah. Something a bit like that. Again, one more check, make sure we're not throwing things off. Oh yeah, that's fun. Now for our wall here. Let's take a look under metal walls. Don't want the glass. That's an awkward cabin style. Gonna want a doorway, obviously. This is gonna be one cramped cabin. I also want to make sure that I'm not going to clip through upstairs. I'm not. Perfect. See guys, that artillery piece, you can totally just walk across it. It's totally fine there. I think. We'll see. I think a half metal wall should do it. I'm gonna just place it by hand because if I snap it, it's gonna stick out like that. Okay. And for our door, it's gonna have to be like a sliding door or something to fit in here. This is such tight quarters. Okay, we're going to have to use a homemaker door. Homemaker closet door. I think we have a couple that slide. Institute, that would not fit well. Large metal door, that would not work well. HM sliding door. We'll just say that we looted this nice clean door from a intact house somewhere. So that's really all we have to work with there. I'm also now realizing that our captain's quarters has no glass in the windows, and besides that has surround windows. So, I want to go back under metal. I'm just going to probably use that same wall piece just to seal this thing up. Turn off that snapping. And we'll do it like this. I'll do 2 windows with this piece. And then, under miscellaneous, let's see through grating. I'll actually, well, I closed the door back. I'll actually do this one from the outside. Unless I lose it, in which case I gotta go back in. It's rotating kind of into the floor there. I think there's a way to copy things in place everywhere, and if you guys remember how to work that, post a comment. Let me know. Nice to just copy that rotation and everything. Nice. And there we have a sealed in, somewhat bulletproofed captain's cabin. Battle armor. I wonder what kind of bed I could actually fit inside of that thing. Oh, the military cot. That should work nicely. Turn surface snapping back on. This unit has no actual blankets on it. I'll put a sleeping bag and then a pillow later for the sheets. So our captain would definitely have some sheets, you know? Under containers, perhaps a metal nightstand. A locker makes a lot of sense, but that might be too rough looking for our captain's cabin. Chest is probably too big. There's the wooden crates for the artillery. Let's go ahead and place a few of those so I don't forget about them later. Let's place all of our explosives next to our reactor. Just apocalyptic Navy things. I might put some shelving around these later, but for now, that's our ammo load. Thinking about a chair in that corner. One that could be bolted down like an airplane seat. If I did that, could I fit a shelf into that corner? That bookshelf's kind of large. Would this one work for ammo? I'll go ahead and build it and look. Nope, shelves are too thin. Got some food storage here. Actually, that should probably go in the galley itself. Door, you're in the way. It can be extra counter space. Put one shelf in the quarters too. It can be behind the door. That should work out nicely. Just not sure if any of these shelves are going to fit in our captain's quarters. I was hoping for a bookshelf, but this really isn't like a long voyaging kind of ship. Does look neat though. I can put a lamp next to the reading chair. What's a good floor lamp? There we go. Oh wow, we are about to hit the size limit already. And this is just the first part of this build, guys. I mean, it's the main part, don't get me wrong. I'll probably put a lamp that's off on that stand. Actually, if I move the chair to over here, it would hide that peg that's coming through the wall. We could do this. That gives us room for like a single painting and a rug, I think. Let's give the captain a fancy rug. I think one of those. The red one, perhaps. And we'll just shrink it down to fit. Make sure that our reading lamp is not blocking the way into the room. So yeah, I mentioned a painting. Let's do that next. Now that couldn't be more perfect. General Washington crossing the Delaware. Gonna shrink it down a little bit. Can we fit one more small painting of the lighthouse, perhaps? Yeah, I'll shrink it down and put it over here. Just now realizing we don't have any bathrooms on this ship, guys. Although we do have this piping that I placed as detailing. I wonder if we can make some efficient use of space here. While I'm thinking about it, let's look at that real quick. Because my immersion requires bathroom facilities of some kind. Can I just put the the outhouse seats down? Is that possible? Yes, it is. So what I'm gonna do, in case you guys are wondering what on earth is going on here, I'm gonna... Oh, don't crash. That froze for a second. I'm gonna have this be just our little bathroom hallway out here. I'll put up some curtains for some minor privacy, but basically just where it's not in the sleeping or eating areas. Yeah, I think that works out. Anyway, anything left for decorations in here? No, I think we're going to wrap up today, guys, by putting down that curtain for the bathroom area and the lamp for the captain's quarters. I believe both of those are going to be under decorations. Homemaker, miscellaneous, interior. Also give our captain a clock. There's the curtain I was looking for the bathrooms. Clip it through a little bit like that. Actually needs to go kind of like that so I can still get by it. There we go. So yeah, you can kind of close the curtain if you really need to. That's an efficient use of space, if I do say so myself. Ham radio. Might put one of those upstairs as well, but I think the captain should get his own. Yeah, I'll put one in here. Can't believe I almost forgot the radio, guys. Far too important. The decorations that I'm thinking of might be under just OC decorator. Give him a nice towel rack. Yeah, I think what I'm thinking of as far as the decorative lamp and plant goes is going to be under OC decorator. Yep. Well, I guess it doesn't really make sense to put a blue table lamp next to another lamp, so I'm going to put it up here instead. And what kind of decorative thing will go over here? Well, it's going to be a pillow for one thing. Oh, and that radio is still floating too. Whoops. Faces would probably fall. What do we have under personal effects? Say the keys to the boat. Wish I had some of those paintings left. Golden timepiece. Yeah, man, I really want like one of those small nightstand paintings or something, but I'm completely out of them. I may just have to find one or an American flag and then come back, guys. Yeah, I'll do that. Oop. Let go. Mouse cursor. I will, however, add the kitchen and dining beverages. Captain's personal bourbon. I think we have glasses to go with that, don't we? Oh yeah, shot glass. So all that leaves is a little tiny table for the radio to sit on. I know we have the small institute table, but that might not look right in a rusted out captain's quarters. That's also going to be under homemaker. So let's do this instead. And there you have it, guys. A completed and quite nice captain's quarters. Okay, well, that's some serious progress for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the journey. I think this might be the last part of the Kingsport Let's Build project where I'm actually working on the gunboat, because, again, I do want to leave some surprises for the final tour. We got really far, so yeah, unless you guys point out something that you really hate that you want me to fix, I'm gonna spend the last hour or two that's probably left on this on my own, and it'll be a surprise for the final tour. We'll just come back next time and start working on our transport boat, our immigration facility, our welcome statue, and our processing center. And then there will also be a few other things that I won't be showing during the build process. So we're actually making some really good progress here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.